Hey everybody! So today we're talking with John Coleman with Real Broker, and John's been with Real Broker for about 8 months now. Today we're going to check in with him and see what he thinks about Real Broker and kind of get his review of what it's like being an agent here at Real. John, how are you today, man?
Doing awesome. Just chilling, hanging out, hoping the dog's not going to bark and bother us too much today, but she
I
might.
love
We'll
it.
see.
I love it, man. Well, tell me a little bit about like where are you at in your real estate career, and what's your real estate business look like today?
So I am about 7 to 8 years in, and let's see. I will. Do you want like volume and transactions and
Yeah,
all that stuff,
sure,
or okay?
sure.
So we won't count pandemic year because that was just too good. But this year probably on pace to help about 75 families with their real estate needs,
Yeah, that's
which
huge.
is super exciting.
Yeah, especially with how weird of a real estate market it is. Uh,
Yeah, and then our team will do about 250 plus in terms of families help. So the 75 is directly with me.
Cool, man. That's super impressive. And what was most attractive about Real? What were some of the things that kind of brought you over to Real in the first place?
hmm So we were looking at a number of opportunities, and I'm not going to name names because just because something's right for one person and comparison, it's not a fair thing to do because it potentially demeans other things. But I was looking for one to be a pig and slop with video content stuff. I felt like I had a lot of room to grow and a lot of
Mhm.
aspiration to grow. And then you got great people like you out there that are doing YouTube at a high level and trying and playing and doing things, and Tim Macy and Katie Day and all the great people that I kind of came across along the way. When I first started my YouTube channel, I was a close subscriber and follower, and still a close subscriber and follower of Karen Carr. But she kind of got my foot in the door there, and she was with Real. So that there was a bunch of people that I respected that were kind of jumping in, and I was like, oh well, if they like it, maybe I'll like it too. And the more I talked with folks, the more that I wanted to be there. But I also wanted to understand the various components of why I wanted to be there.
Mhm.
And truthfully, it's financially a cheaper model than other brokerages out there. And I'm not the kind of person that's like, ooh, cheap is the best. Like I'm actually usually the opposite. Like I'm willing to pay more to ensure that I'm getting the right level of service. And so as we were kind of making that decision, I really put a lot of time and effort in looking at the various aspects to see if it aligned with how I wanted our business to run, and the technology with Chime and a lot of the back end stuff and the Reason app, and then just the network of people that we're sharing was exactly where I needed it to be.
Right.
We have our own person that's our operations manager that she can plug into stuff there. We have help with some of the marketing stuff through the marketing center and all that we can take and template to our own things and then use from there. And then also wanted to get back on a national level. Like we're going to Rise conference soon. I know you're going to be there,
Yeah.
and we're super excited that to be going back to those conferences because at one point we were with a larger brokerage and really enjoyed that in person aspect of it. And a market like right now that's super stressful. There's no better thing than going and having that pump up and learning things and getting a little spark to ignite you through the back half of the year and into next year as you're trying to decide what you're going to do.
Yeah, I love that, man. They say, your network is your net worth. And
Mhm.
that's what you're saying, that wanting to come here because of the talent and because of the agents and the community that we have here. And there's so many agents focus on video and social media and just kind of pioneering new forms of lead generation and new business models. Like that is actually a very common reason for people wanting to come here. Is just to connect and collaborate with other agents. And I think we've got
Mhm.
the best community out there. Now you mentioned the technology. We have Reason app and Chime. What's your kind of take on the technology? Now that you've played with it for 8 months? Like, what's your favorite piece of tech, and what's your
Mhm.
experience with it?
Shockingly, it's the actual Reason app. Like
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of the Reason app. Like I just hit Elite, which is super exciting. I wanted to hit it before we get to the conference, so I got Elite status. So that's super exciting. And along the way, the ability to pull up GCI, to look at the transactions, to keep just like see who's in my network and how they're doing and what's going on with them is super important too. They've made a lot of good updates to Leo and the AI of. I was showing an agent on my team. They're like, "Well, we want to learn more about how to do social media, and we need to start at square one." And I actually asked Leo in the app of like, "I need some social media basic training," and it pulled up like 3 different options from the content library that we had of experts like yourself that are willing to just put it on video, like we are here, to share with everybody in the network. And so that's been a really cool thing. Chime, I like it. Truthfully, I need to learn more. I haven't utilized it to its fullest capability yet, and my intentions is that I do that to a higher level. Just have to find that old time to get it done. So but I've enjoyed that. My favorite thing about Chime is the CMAs. I think that those
Mhm.
look so sharp and crisp. And like when I give those to purchasers or people looking to sell their places, and they have all the data and the listings at their fingertips, it has the graphics and analysis, and it has pictures on there, and our value proposition and all the other stuff. It's really a differentiator when
Yeah.
comparing.
Wow, that's great, man. Yeah, we have, I mean, Chime is an incredibly powerful tool that can revolutionize a lot of people's business. There is a learning curve to it. It is,
Hmm.
there is a lot they need to put into it. But we have agents like Tommy Muchler, who's completely automated his entire real estate business by using
Hmm.
tools and really leveraging them. Yeah, so it's really powerful. Definitely, there's a bit of a learning curve to it. And so you kind of mentioned Real Academy and the training that we have here. What's your review and what's your take on the training that Real offers, and how do you like it?
So have you been going to Sharon's down market playbook stuff?
Yeah, I have.
Insane stuff. And it's so cool that one of the leaders of our company is actively still doing that stuff. And it's not just like you could do this. It's like, no, this is how you're going to do it. This is the mentality behind it, and this is why I pitch it. Like the guy is a genius when it comes to that stuff. And for people that are grasping at straws, trying to figure out what's coming next and what's happening, he's not only giving a pep talk, he's giving tactical, actionable items that you could take weekly to implement in your business to give yourself a competitive edge against your competition. Like those have been completely insane. And I haven't been to a Rise yet. We mentioned that we're going to do that. It's not only the online stuff. Like everyone assumes online brokerage, online stuff. There's Dwellus is over by both of us. They're more the Virginia side. They had a really good event. We've had events where we've had speakers and stuff in there before. And then also I went to Tim and Katie's real estate video blueprint. And that was the event that I went to where I walked out of there being like, we made the right move. Like this is like, I was literally like a pig in slop at that thing,
Yeah.
like taking notes, learning, figuring out who's doing what, and just really applying what we have and what we want to be doing with it. So it's all the things have really culminated into a really nice piece. And now it's on me, right? Like that's the beauty about being an agent is you can sit there and learn as much as you want. Now that you have all the tools, can you take action and make it happen?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we've got tons of like agent-led meetups and agent-led training events put on all around the country, and it's really cool to see the community really kind of spearheading that and putting those
Mm-hmm.
events on. So I know culture is like really important to a lot of people out there when choosing a company. What's your take on Real's culture? How would you kind of describe the culture here at Real?
Yeah, it's a ton of sharing, and a lot of it's virtual, and that has been super helpful because you can pull people from different times, and there's a larger pool to pull from, right? Like if you have what are we at 12,000 agents now,
Yeah,
something crazy like that. I think it's like doubled since I've even stepped in a very short amount of time, and there's a lot of information out there at any given time because everyone's looking to give back. So it's there. The piece that we're intending on growing is giving a little boost, a little jolt to our area, like you are, and bringing in more people so we can have even more people just right around us to be a part of that network and create kind of our own little mini chapter of all that stuff. And people have been doing that. Like Phil Gertis is out in Annapolis and he does a good job out there. We got, as I mentioned, Dwellis out there. We got you with Maryland, and there's some agents in DC. Like, we have a lot of agents, and we're growing fast, and we're excited to continue to cultivate that. And we're starting to see happy hours and events and
Yeah.
cross promotions. And it seems like, you host an event, we're going to come and support you. And if we host an event, you want to come support us, and hosting charity things and all that stuff. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, great, man. I really appreciate your feedback on that. If anybody wanted to reach out to you or follow you, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
I've been training people to go to my email address. So if you send me an email, me and my team are most likely to respond in a timely fashion. And that's just john@jasonmartingroup.com. And then, of course, I love Instagram. So if you follow me, it's at Coffee with Coleman, and would love to follow you back in our real network.
All right. Coffee with Coleman. All right, John, I really appreciate your time, and I'll see you at the Wise Conference here next week.
See you soon.